The CEO of McDonald's, Chris Kempinski, is warning of a two-tiered economy as the fast food giant brings about its extra value meals this week, trying to attract budget-conscious customers. He says that middle and lower-income consumers aren't loving it. They're under a lot of pressure right now. Traffic is down double digits, and many are skipping meals or only eating at home. But it's the opposite story for the upper class, snooty snoots. They're feeling good and splurging on luxury items and travel. The head of fixed income at BlackRock made this point a week or so ago. He said that it's the lower income who are interest rate sensitive, because the Federal Reserve have not cut interest rates, who are really struggling. The high income is fine, but it's, older, they have income from investments, they're fine. But lower income, interest rate sensitive, young people who have to borrow, struggling.
Yeah, well, look, I just would say to the CEO of McDonald's, welcome. This has been going on for 4 years, right? When we got that 9% inflation print in the middle of 2021. And it's just getting worse that we live in a society where I think, for the longest time, it was half the country didn't have $500 in their checking account for emergency. Now that's closer to 2/3. And to go back to Mondavi and all the other stuff, this is the feature, not the bug, of these leftist policies. It is to create this massive class divide to where you have this underclass of people that need to live off the top 1% and serve them, and then not have any sort of threat. And the destruction of expansive government, excess spending does to everyday average people. And basically what he's saying is why Donald Trump is president. It's why he won in 2016. Okay, in 2020, a lot of noise there. But it's why he won in 2016, because coming out of the financial crisis, this was becoming a problem. It is way worse now. And so, look, as an investor, when you look at the whole thing on a GDP, yes, it's this top 1 to 10% that drive the stock market, that drive the overall economy. But it is very, very top heavy in our society. It is getting that way, and the rate of change is happening faster.
Well, and that's why I think Trump is rebranding, trying to rebrand the BBB law, which is now the law of the land, because Americans aren't really feeling it. I mean, they can't buy a house, particularly if they're young folks, and they can't get the credit they need for even a new car in many cases, and the prices. We said this often enough. Yes, inflation rate has come down from those high print days, and it's still pretty high, but the prices haven't come down, and the salaries have not come up to meet what the rising prices have. So it's something that is everybody is dealing with now, and I'm glad Mickey D finally realized it.
But we get 150 basis points off from the Fed over the next year. Car loans are going to be cheaper. Your credit card rates are going to come down. It's going to make a meaningful difference all across the spectrum, especially for those most vulnerable.
Do you think McDonald's is kind of making this up? Not making it up, but this problem should have arrived earlier.
Yes.
And now they're using it as an excuse to say.
I'm highly skeptical of this. And you touched on this. The guy's late. He's late to the party. And I'm wondering, well, why is he so late to the party? Because actually, this problem was acute 3 years ago. 3 years ago, this guy should be saying the combination of high inflation and high regulation is going to wreck the low-income consumer. One, because it's cost too much to live, and two, because it keeps them in that spot. Their wages don't grow. They never get out of the space that they're in. So now these guys come out. And I agree, Trump changed the game. And I think all of them are like, okay, what do I need to say now to sound like I'm in touch with my consumer? And that bothers me a little bit. These guys need to be speaking out before it's politically advantageous to do it when they're right.
Courage in the boardroom? I don't think so.
But that would have invited from this previous, they call the Trump DOJ and these organizations political. Had he said that 3.5 years ago, Department of Labor would have been in there questioning this. the EPA with all the little franchises, all the franchise boards from all over the country in the blue states, the Department of Justice,
HHS.
you know,
That's fine, but don't
SEC.
tell me you care about the consumer then if you want to protect yourself for 3 years until it's politically okay to do it. You don't care about the consumer, you care about your bottom line, and that's fine, but you're not an advocate
Correct.
for those who've
Yep.
been held back.